Hello, this is Nectarmice FX and I'm Mark Abraham. In our previous video or lesson, we talked about what is forex trading and how is it done. I mean the basics of forex trading. In today's lesson, we are going to look at what is being traded in the forex market. Now, in the forex market, we trade currency pairs, commodities, energies, futures, and stocks, and etc. When we say currency pairs, we mean two currencies put together. Currency pairs are further broken down into three main categories, and these are the major currencies, the cross currencies, and the exotic currencies. Now stay with me and you are going to understand all these things that I'm talking about. Major currencies are currency pairs that are the most highly traded currency pairs in the forex market, and this has to do with the Great Britain pound versus the US dollar, which is represented by GBP USD. We have the euro versus the US dollar, which is represented by EUR USD. We also have the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar, which is represented by USD CAD. We have the US dollar and the Swiss franc, which is represented by USD CHF. And further, we have the New Zealand dollar versus US dollar, represented by NZD USD. We have the Australian dollar versus the United States dollar, represented by AUD USD. And also finally, we have US dollar versus the Japanese yen, which is represented by the abbreviation USD JPY. That has to do with the major currencies. Now, when we come to the cross currencies, the cross currencies are currency pairs that exclude the United States dollar. These currency pairs are also further broken down into three parts, which has to do with the pound crosses, we have the euro crosses, and we have the yen crosses. The pound crosses are the pound pairs which excludes the USD. So that has to do with one, the GBP NZD, which is the Great Britain pound versus the New Zealand dollar, and also we have the GBP CHF, which is the Great Britain pound versus the Swiss franc, and etc. Now, coming under the euro crosses, these are euro pairs excluding the USD, which has to do with EUR NZD, which is the euro versus the New Zealand dollar. We also have the EUR CHF, which is the euro versus the Swiss franc. And also we have the EUR AUD, which is the euro versus Australian dollar, and etc. Coming under the yen crosses, these are yen pairs excluding the USD, which are AUD JPY, Australian dollar versus the Japanese yen. Then also we have the GBP JPY, which is the Great Britain pound versus the Japanese yen. And we also have the NZD versus JPY, which is the New Zealand dollar versus Japanese yen. Remember, we said under the cross currencies, we are excluding the USD. So in all these, USD is not part of it. That is why every currency pair or every categorization under the cross currencies, we are excluding the USD. The next thing we are looking at is the exotic currency pairs. Now, exotic currencies are currency pairs where a major currency is being paired with a developing country's currency. So if your country is a developing country and your currency is being paired with a major currency, as we stated earlier on, then that becomes an exotic currency pair. These are the USD MNX, which is United States dollar versus the Mexican peso. Then we have the EUR TRY, which is the euro versus the Turkish lira. Then we have the ING GBP, which is the Indian rupee versus the Great Britain pound. So, and etc. The last thing I want us to look at here under the currency pairs are the base currencies versus the quote currency. When we are looking at the currency pairs, for instance, GBP USD, the GBP there is the base currency, and then the USD is the quote currency. So for instance, let's take GBP USD equals 1.005, which means that you need 1.005 USD in order to get 1 Britain pound. So the base currency is always represented by 1, and the equivalent figure which is attached to the quote currency implies that you need that amount of that currency in order to buy the base currency. Our lesson for today will end here, and We will meet again in our next video. Kindly subscribe to our channel so that whenever we drop a new video, you will be notified.